Cliff Elan, Takedo Shimada, Jason Jones, Dan Rushton, Sean Goff. He's my triple X. Les Sasaki, Koji Shimizu, James Mazel, Baron Sheldhorn, Richard and brackets Yoga Boy. I don't know his name, but we used to go to yoga and then afterwards go get like whiskey and burgers and stuff just to make things balanced. And Alan Arden and Nelson Jenkins and Leah Benal, Chris Wirt, Peter Johnston, Matt Muro. Anyway, the list goes on, and it's really nice. Like when I look at this list that I've typed up, and I go through these hearts to install them, to get them back, to make sure that they're all there and everything. It reminds me, oh yeah, that person from like years ago, like I almost forgot them. And then what happens is I start to think of that whole time frame that I thought of them in, and they're like other people. And if I'm like setting out to be I'll stop at 200. Right now I'm more than 100, but if I'm setting out to, you know, love 200 people and I know them to varying degrees, then that by extension I should behave with unconditional love for the guy on the street that I don't even know what his name is, you know, like, so it's just, this is an important lifelong project. I'll keep on doing it until I die. And there's like a little line, like I was trying to describe it once, like a little bit of sweet nothingness, sentiment like a wisp of air, a marker of unconditional love, respect, appreciation, made with love, amidst love, a souvenir of love. My love can do no wrong, making tangible a nothingness, which is everything. Love that is thingless, but still more felt than air. So that kind of like describes, oh, I started it in 2002 actually. I even forgot that. Yeah. So that's that. And then there are some drawings that I just have up on the wall. I put them up with these things that I had made. It's acrylic plexi with these curiously strong magnets. And then I put nails in the wall and then it just sticks. And this is kind of good because I've made thousands of drawings like this. Sometimes my drawings are like 1 inch by 1 inch. But these ones are sort of the more standard. Everybody was at one point getting these AOL boxes in the mail, and I would have these promotional CDs in them. And so I just started cutting paper and just, you know, making it fit in the box as a sort of sketchbook, just recording, you know, what's going on around me, names of people and places and various drawings. And so that's what's up on the wall, is some of those drawings. And those drawings have led to, because it is like this is a chapter of time. I go until I finish up a box, and then I pick up another box and I fill that up with drawings too. And then, so then I got into comic book stuff. I say that because I don't have another word for it, but what's magical about comics, again, it relates to all the embodied, like that in the 100 Loves project. It's like nothingness, like what, it's not, again, what happens in this frame or in this frame, but the gutter. And that's, in the gutter can exist a split second of time or 1,000,000 years, depending on what's outlined in this picture and in that picture. But it's really in the negative space. What is not is really what defines what is. Like, I think you look at a tree, and what's so beautiful about a tree is not so much the branches, but when you have light on the tree, you're aware of like all of that space that's around the branches that makes the tree exist. And so, I mean, it's a little bit trippy, and I don't know if I'm really like explaining like what makes me go. I mean, I think I only make these like drawings and these objects and these sculptures or whatever just to prove that I'm not like idle, because I really do like just hanging out all the time. But people don't, they think that's like too much like the grasshopper, you know, you should be more like the ant. So this is just proof that doing nothing is really a lot, like daydreaming and kind of like goofing off and spending time with people and really listening to them and, you know, valuing that. Like, that's what's important to me, like little moments that go away. And so each of these drawings, this chocolate, it's just like a record of like the chocolate before it's eaten, it's kind of static and kind of boring. But then once you have like teeth marks, like I even served it to my dad until he figured out that it was like my ass. And he pulled out a Swiss Army knife and he cut into it with his knife. Like, and it's kind of, that tells, you know, that's, I'll not forget that. I mean, mind you, once he figured out it was my ass, he like stormed out of the gallery and kind of couldn't handle it. But yeah, I make everything for my mom and my dad and my feminist art history teacher, Jane Wark, who I believe has this sense of a right and a wrong feminist. And I'm in complete opposition to that. I'm more aligned with my mom, who wouldn't call herself a feminist. Maybe a mother of the harlots or whatever. The people who aren't cool and aren't popular, the underdog, like the ones that don't do it right. Like, that's what I get, kind of thing. And so, as well, like with all of my drawings and everything that I make, it's flawed from the get-go. And like figuring out what I feel like is successful in them is when I make space for the imperfections. Like, I got drunk with this one friend of mine at the bar, but it was funny. The drunker I got, the stupider she looked. It's kind of like more doe-eyed and like stupid looking, and I kind of think that's beautiful. Like, the marks record, give information. Like, maybe if I'm nervous talking in front of a camera, my voice quivers a little bit. That tells you. It's not so much like what I'm saying that is great, because I know I'm not being profound, and other people say much smarter things than whatever I could be saying. But maybe if anybody gets anything out of it, is they can relate to the awkwardness, you know? I think that's what's important. I just collect boxes, and then I cut paper, and I make the paper, and I cut the corners so it fits in nice and neat. And the box represents a chapter of time. And so I cut paper until I can't fit anymore, and then I carry this around with me everywhere in my bag. And along with me in my bag is always, just like how some people never leave without their wallet, I never leave the house without my schminky watercolor set. And it has this little bottle of water, and I always have my little brushes and some pens. And then I just hang out, and like anything that I think is slightly interesting or noteworthy, I could be in the middle of the street, I'll just stop, sit on the curbside, and just draw it. And if anybody tries to like move me or interrupt me, like they're gonna get serious stink eye. Like, they're just, it's not, like I've actually hit people from trying to like keep me from drawing. And so then I just draw on this. This started in 2010, but I'm still working on this box. It'll probably finish up this year. So it represents, you know, maybe 2 years of drawing. At the same time, I might be working on a smaller box, because if I go to some bars or something, I might not want to.
What about the history?
And then the history.
What about this history is about?
This history is about? It's just about time unfolding. It's just about like. This one, I was working on a review in this book here, this book of drawings called Fucked. And so as I'm working on this, I'm always thinking about it when I'm working on a piece. And so this drawing here, it is this one. Drawing here. Whoops, sorry. And it's a copy of a painting by Mary Pratt, this Canadian artist, and it fits in with the issues that I'm talking about in the review. And then various other things. I went to, this one is the beginning of my friend, he hatched some roosters, and it's illegal to have roosters in New York and stuff, and people were complaining at the cockadoodling early in the morning. So we killed the roosters, and so I'll
You
end
killed
up
the
doing.
rooster.
Yeah, we killed the roosters. So this one will have some blood and gore in it. This one, I went up to Boston at Christmas time, and this was some wine we have. I draw wine a lot. Like, I want to keep track of wines that I like, and that's how I do it, is I just draw the label. And I was really into 1920s language, like when they were talking like hoofers and a bear, a cat, what a bear. So I was doing research, and then there'll be, I had a really nice studio visit with this woman, the curator of contemporary art at the Gardner Museum, Fiorana Cavallini. I'm not saying her name as well as you guys would. And then this is our Christmas dinner. And so and I do fingernail painting, like, and so these were some possible color combinations and decorations. And so then I often date stamp it just to keep track of time.
Where you put a date stamp?
The date stamp is like, this is our Christmas dinner, and we went to see True Grit at this movie theater. And so I drew my movie ticket so I could remember, like, okay, in 2010, I saw True Grit with my friend Andrew, and I wrote their names down, who I spent Christmas with. Kristen Blake, see, I wouldn't have remembered that. Stacy Slotnick, Andrew, and Gilmore. And we all hung out. And then this is this guy, Dean's phone number that I had to remember, so I wrote that down, and it becomes part of it. And I just, like, fill it until it fills up the paper, because I'm not going to waste paper. And then it's just also, like, time kind of, like, collides. Like, it's never just one thing happens at a time. Like, a lot of stuff happens at the same time. So I feel like that has accuracy. And then there are side notes. Like, and there's, like, smudges in the corners with the ink, where I'm just testing to make sure that that's the exact color that I'm looking for to make this picture. So I just do it on the sides. And then I have, like, little thoughts. Smart or not, I do. Yeah, so there's that. And then I went to see Zebulon, saw some music that I really kind of was touched by. This is my friend when she was pregnant, and she's in that review that
So
I showed you.
every single shift is a story or a moment.
Yeah, they're moments. They're things that I think, like, so quickly, you know, I forget what happens. Like, in the course of a day, I don't know, everybody must be struck by, oh my God, I can't believe that woman is cutting her fingernails on the subway. It's rush hour. Her fingernails are flying around. I will draw that because that's amazing to me. Like, what's that kind of logic? Like, it's not my logic, and so I'm like, and it also is pissing me off. So I draw it to, like, disarm, like, its power. This is my friend Janice. We were hanging out at a bar.
So it's a moment of your life, or is
Moment of, yeah, life, yeah. Yeah, like going to the beach, struck by the garbage on the beach, like a half-eaten watermelon. Some guy who's standing there, like, perfectly still for, like, an hour.
An hour?
And the tide's coming in, and he's just standing there, like, looking out at the horizon line. There's more possible fingernail polish coverings. Like, it's just notes. They're just an artwork that I liked at Metro Pictures by B. Wirtz. I think he's a brilliant artist. My friend wants me to work on her logo. She loves lilies, so I'm drawing lilies. And so when I feel like this box is full, and every page in it has a decent composition, I feel like this one's done. This one today, I feel like it's done. There was something that I read in a book that I really liked. Thou that hast given so much to me, give one more thing, a grateful heart. See how thy beggar works in thee by art. He makes thy gifts occasion more, and says, if he is in this be crossed, all thou hast given him heretofore is lost, by George Herbert, from some book about gratefulness from 1633. So the spelling's all screwed up, and I found that kind of interesting. So that's what happens, and then the box is done, and if anybody wants these drawings, they don't get one drawing. They have to, like, buy all of them. I think each one of these drawings is like 175, and it doesn't matter if the page is totally filled up or it has like one bit of spit on it, whatever. It's 175, but then other drawings are like way more involved, and so it equals out, and so I multiply 175 by however many drawings are in the box, like maybe there's 20 or 30 in here. So
how many boxes you have in your life?
I haven't counted them, but because I keep selling them, or I think I've done thousands of drawings, and they can be as small as this, like an inch by an inch or something, with only like maybe 5 drawings in it, to this is a bigger box. And so yeah, I just always have a box with me, always doing drawings of people, places, and things.
Like love box.
I think so, probably. Yeah, because it is. It's like keeps me connected to life.